Welcome to the bold analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start this video by asking, if you are opening a business, and even if you are a child to a politician, do you think compliance can be a problem? Or lack of compliance is intentional? What am I talking about? I am talking about this trending story that was aired in Citizen TV, where there are some two identified buses that are plying different routes in Nairobi, and of course they're stationed at railways. So the matatu operators issued some 7 days notice, and they're complaining that the two identified buses are not operating under any circle. They're flouting the traffic rules, even making a U-turn just around the roundabout. And the traffic officers that are actually in that road are not bothered, or they cannot intervene because they're saying the buses belong to a powerful son of a politician. I saw that story yesterday, and something different came to my mind. And that is why I'm asking, if these two buses belong to the son of the said politician, and let's say the son of a politician wants to invest in the bus, in that industry, don't you think they will be more responsible enough just to ensure they comply? I have friends who are politicians who have businesses, they have rentals, they have their procurement, they have rentals, they're building roads, maybe getting tenders on roads. They even some are in the matatu sector, but they're doing full compliance. This is the same as those who are in the transport sector. The reports that Murkomen is very big on transport sector, but the compliance has been there. What will make that sort of an investment, or the son of that prominent politician, to be complicit? I want you to, the reason I'm sharing this is, Citizen did this story, and Kenyan DCI, Kenyans really paid attention. And I want you to listen to the full story that Citizen did. Then you'll understand that when they were making that interview, the person who was interviewed at 7 p.m. actually mentioned the son of the president as the owner of the car, of the buses. But that was later deleted. But this was the original story that was done by Citizen.
Broad daylight impunity reigns at the railway's bus station. Matatu operators are up in arms over these two notorious matatu plying Gong, Nairobi. The two matatus blatantly break traffic rules despite presence of police officers, a situation that has severely impacted business on the same route.
Kuna magari watu wanasema ni za serikali. Gari haina jina ya sako. Gari inakuja hapa ina reverse kwa roundabout, askari wanaangalia tu.
Despite numerous reports, the traffic police are too scared to handle the matter.
Nyinyi kama waandishi wa habari, ningependa mchunguze hiyo gari kama imepita kiwango ya kufanya kazi ya matatu katika kulingana na sheria za trafiki na NTSA Act.
The vehicles are also said to lack PSV insurance and do not belong to any sacco. We did our digging, and a quick search of the matatu confirmed that indeed they are not in good books on the official NTSA portal. They also lack road service licenses, RSL, and have not been inspected. Our inspection search showed that indeed one matatu was not inspected. We also confirmed whether the two matatus are registered with any of the SACCOs. The results were shocking. Normally, vehicles at the railway stage have to queue for up to 4 hours to pick passengers, but these two vehicles, according to operators here, do not follow these guidelines. We verified this by filming this matatu along railway's roundabout, dropping passengers in the middle of the roundabout, thus causing obstruction despite the presence of the police officer. The vehicle is also seen reversing in front of police officer to pick passengers. They literally jump the queue as other operators who have been waiting for hours in line watch helplessly. The police are said to be aware of the situation, but they can do little to bring sanity.
Sababu askari wa trafiki kuanzia wapi hata regional commander haezi ongelea kuhusu hiyo gari. Hii ni nchi gani tunayoishi? People are scared, people can't speak it, but you see, some of us, we have to speak it. Whether we are going to be abducted or not, we have to speak, and we want fairness in doing business.
We also went ahead and did a search of the ownership of the vehicles, and it revealed a son of a prominent politician whose name we have withheld for security reasons.
His son cannot rape the same constitution that he is supposed to take care of.
Huwezi sema gari ni ya serikali, siweko GK basi ifanye kazi ya serikali.
Let me explain for you something that you may really want to understand. That story was aired by Citizen, and there is a part they left. So the original part, they had actually mentioned, the person who was being interviewed, they had actually mentioned the name of Ruto. I want you to hear this.
Hizi gari ni za kijana ya rais wa taifa la Kenya, George Ruto. Na hakuna askari wa trafiki ambaye anaweza iguza wala kuifanyia kitu chochote. Madereva wana nguvu zaidi kuliko askari.
Gari haina hata jina, haina jina ya sako. Gari inakuja hapa ina reverse kwa roundabout, askari wanaangalia tu.
Wahudumu wa matatu zinazomilikiwa na mtu mwenye ushawishi mkubwa serikalini walaumiwa kwa kuvunja sheria.
So this part was omitted by from the original story, and it's understood there could have been calls that were made last minute to ensure that is actually kicked out, that part is kicked out. I want to tell you, and I want to say this, there could be some, reasons behind the rush to delete that story, delete that part of that story. But if you ask me, I am thinking that this buses doesn't belong to that son of, president. These buses have been dispatched and have been planted in the matatu sector just to collect the intelligence of what's happening. These buses, this is not an investment. Someone is not investing here. Because if someone wanted to invest in matatu sector, they can just be compliant. If they want to get a SACCO, they cannot miss a SACCO. They can even register their own SACCO. And of course, an investment in the caliber of the son of the president must be huge. Even if it's starting with 2 cars, they would have already have registered a SACCO. They found out how they want to do it, and it's been something systematic. But the way you can see it's being wrapped, I don't think, I may be wrong on this, but I want you to look through in my eyes until I can convince you. There is no investment here. These are buses that have been planted in the matatu sector just to collect intelligence. Remember, the police have been on radar on how mobility of people to town during protests, or whether people that are boarding matatus, are they facilitated? What exactly it is? It is part of it, because they've been understanding that maybe it's some of the matatu sector operators that are also participating in the city protests. So if you ask me, I am seeing that, but I'll come back into that. But the story was deleted because of this. There's some few things that happened later that I can see. That part of George Ruto was removed so that the state can run a propaganda around the story, to deflate the story. I saw yesterday, someone now said, that guy said it's George Ruto. Someone came, and that was Nyakundi, if I'm not wrong, who did a tweet and said it is now Gachagwa's son. Because Citizen said son of a prominent politician, And sometimes I don't like, you know, if you have a story, you're a reporter, let me tell you, if I am a reporter, the person who is saying that those buses belong to George Ruto is someone in that matatu sector. I leave that clip as it is. Whether you cannot be charged anywhere of defamation, you're not the person talking. That person has said. So if it remains an allegation, not confirmed because the person has not given you any document to present. But look at what happened. Immediately, citizens said the son of a prominent politician, a propaganda was floated that now it is not that son of the president, it is the son of the deputy president. Someone will now even start saying it is son of former prime minister, or now son of the speaker, or son of a minister. It now changes the whole story. So that is the first thing. And why would they employ propaganda? They employ propaganda, you know, whether it is son of who and who. That is not the point. The point is that bus is not complying to the rules of the sector. I think for me, that is the biggest thing. That bus is not. It is the compliance here is the issue. As to who is the owner, whether it belongs to the son of who, that is not a problem. Because the son of the president is a Kenyan and is his own man, he can also invest in that sector. But the most responsible thing he should do, even if he invests, is about ensuring that he complies with the regulations. Number two, that part of traffic officers complicit, that they are seeing that bus making a U-turn around the roundabout and they don't bother. They can't do anything because hiyo gari ni ya serikali. And I like what that man is saying, kama ni ya serikali siandiko JK ifanye kazi ya serikali. Now, it's complicit. The complicity of traffic officers there is to look at what exactly is it. You know, it has exposed the fact that even the responsible officers know of what is going on. They cannot be seen. And of course, they have also been brought into the fray. So that is why that part has also been removed. The other third reason is the lack of documentation. Citizen TV even said they tried to do search, no circle. And of course, when there is found ownership, and I just ask her, so why will the son of the president, as is being claimed, put his name? Why must it be his name, by the way? So it's my question, okay? Most politicians don't put their names. They find proxies who own that. So that when lifestyle audit comes, someone will not start asking who bought this bus and where did you get the money and this about that. So there is some understanding of that. And lastly, I think the disobedience of the law is also very critical in this. The fact that there was disobedience. Someone who is in charge, who is supposed to do something, is showing sort of some disobedience. Now the story is about lifestyle audit. If you ask me, the story is about lifestyle audit. And I want to stand with my position here. Why do you think that bus, that government has planted a bus to infiltrate the matatu sector at this critical time? It could serve many purposes for intelligence gathering. People in that bus, kata hivyo ameweka jamaa mengaa hapo kwa kona amekaa, anasikiza tu vile watu wanasema, the kind of music. There's so many things that have been happening, that were happening. Number one, matatu sector players were some of the leading figures in the anti-government protests. Recently, there was another festival called Matatu Festival. I've never seen it. The Matatu Festival happened in town, and Matatu Festival happened in town, and that was around, I think, 8 p.m. and it was going through town, ikiwa imejaa na watu. If you check, a number of those people who were shot during the protest, they're quite a significant part of it that were taught. But then remember Evans Kiratu, The boy who we visited the mother in Kavaraine in Kiambu, that boy was a tot. Alikuwa manamba. So there are quite a number. And the matatu players, the matatu operators, the young people in the matatu sector were likely part of the protesting community in town. You know, there are two types of protesters. There are those brave ones, the daring protesters, and then kuna hawa waoga, hao wengine wadogo. So the daring protesters, people who don't fear they interact with the police every day and they've been part of all this, actually part of the matatu industry. So if you ask me, that is one of the things. And you will also realize during the Nairobi protest, there are videos where some matatu was, police threw tear gas in a matatu. There was that video that was trending. Police threw tear gas inside the matatu. That was a metro bus. And we were wondering, what exactly is it? Is it really that these people that are carried there are protesters or not? So there was an understanding that some buses were ferrying protesters to CBD. And you know, government got themselves in a very tight situation, because last year, during the anti-government protest, they could only just barricade the roads in Mathare and then Kibera and some other parts of town, because they believed that those who were coming were only coming from those areas. And then the rest of the people just come to town. Now this time round, you don't know where protesters are coming from. They're coming from every corner. So I think, if you ask me, the government is trying very much to infiltrate that sector, because that sector is predominantly part of the team that were probably accused of ferrying people to that place. Number 3, most matatu sector players are Kikuyus. Most people who own these buses you see around, and are not being tribal, but if you do your research, with all due respect, I have my friends here. I have my friends here who are very senior members of this channel, who support this channel and they can tell you. I was just asking around. Many of these buses you see are owned by Kikuyu and Kisii. Kisii, especially Kisii, is mostly the Rainbow Shuttle around those areas. So the government understands that then, and remember, there is a narrative being peddled here that those who are behind the protest are people who want to overthrow William Ruto. So I think, if you ask me, Ruto administration is so much interested in infiltrating the matatu sector, because they clearly see that it is part of the team, it is part of mobilization strategy. Because government was asking, people have been asking, how did these people come to town? There was a story, and I saw Nane organizers saying that they will be ferrying people to town. They want to know, these buses will be in the streets to maybe understand kama wanakuanga facilitated how. So long as they're in that sector, they will want to understand. I can tell you, I will not be shocked seeing these buses being removed again from the road. That's the other reason. Number 3 is maybe the public, let me say the messaging, the language and the messaging there. Something happened recently, and without mentioning the school, there is one of the institutions that the president was visiting during one of these tours. And when he visited that institution, it's within Nairobi. So apparently the students were supposed to perform they had to make some performance. But there is that song called Anguka Nayo. So that Anguka Nayo song was supposed to be, it was the one that it was played when people were going for protest. So those students, when president visited that school, the students demanded that they will only perform for the president if that Anguka Nayo song is played. And the president's handlers refused. They said that song cannot be played in an event that is attended by the president, because it was a protest song, Anguka Nayo. And ultimately didn't play. Now, one of the things that have also been happening here is some of these songs have been played in these matatus. And you'll see people confronting. There are some people that have also been getting to matatus and mobilizing and doing civic education in the matatus. So you can see a broader reason, not broad-based, a broader reason why there is a lot of interest in that matatu sector. People see, these are the people, this is what carries people off and on and off from town. The kind of music they play, the kind of messaging that is there, the kind of talks in those places, the government wants to understand. And if not that, then someone is just planting there and part of the research. Just to know how does that industry operate. Of course, government is planning from BRT, how does that industry operate? What is really the market measure? Because government doesn't have investment there, so they can't get the real feel. Some also want to understand that market, and it will inform perhaps future policies. But what I don't buy is that a son of a senior politician can have a plan to invest in that sector and fail to comply. Because compliance to them is very easy. It's just a phone call away. They can make phone calls in all those offices, and the sack of papers and paperwork is brought to them at the comfort of their posh homes. So but the way it is being done in a more fast manner, there is everything to worry about. Now, there was an inside scheme by other matatu players to expose the rot, maybe. Just want to expose what's going on. There could be intelligence-backed matatu to collect what people are saying. I think, if you ask me, I am not buying it, and that is my opinion. You can also tell me what you think. But from mimi naona, not a design a politician anataka kuinvest kwa that sector, alafu hawezi comply. Because compliance comes at no cost for them. It can come at no cost for them. And of course, for sustainability, probably you can have 100 or 50 cars, 50 buses in that sector, and then you don't want to comply, you don't want to have a circle. And well, that is what the law says. I think there is much, even government, there's senior government people who have hotels. When you visit those hotels, utapata all the certificates, all the approval certificates are there. So I don't think there will be exemptions in this. And let's wait and see how this will play out. Thank you.